I'm gonna have to start off our talk talking a little bit about a problem, but I want to give you a whole lot of solutions to take home and think about and share with your friends and family. So since we're a small group, I would like us to start by just saying hey, saying who we are. I know the majority of you, but I don't know some of you, so it'll be a good opportunity for me to say hi and know who you are. So who wants to just say hi, how you are? You can, my camera lady can speak behind the camera.
Okay. I'm Samantha, and I live in Oakland, and I'm recently a provisional doula, and I'm excited to be here today to learn more.
I'm Ashana. I live in Oakland also. I'm a mother, and I'm recently a postpartum doula.
All right.
Eli, not a doula, but I'm here.
Welcome.
Almost a doula.
All right.
I would like to cook for people who are having babies, so I guess that could be a doula.
That's awesome.
Part of work.
That's awesome.
And I'm Melody, student doula, part of Shiphrah Circle, and happy to be here. Also, loving your own rhythm.
Okay, now. So, I'm going to give this talk a different way because everyone sitting here is some kind of a doula. Okay? So what's important about that is that we are part of the solution to the problem. The problem is that we live in a country where, a black woman is 4 times more likely to die in childbirth than her white counterpart, even when you figure in for income. And the first thing that people say is, well, that must be because people are poor, they don't have resources. It's like, no. Even when you factor in income situations, a black woman has that horrible possibility of dying 4 times more likely than a white woman. So then we have to look at the other things that are affecting that. Why is that? And one of the things I'm kind of on the warpath about is that in recent years, it has come to have people think that, well, that means that there's something wrong with black women. There's something wrong with black women's bodies. And that is not true. Historically in this country was built pretty much on on black reproduction and our children being made to work and serve this country and serve in the building of this country. So no, we can't say magically 150 years later their great-great-great-granddaughters are having these issues, having their babies. We have to look at issues of systemic racism and institutionalized racism and look at how that's impacting our bodies. The greater culture is having a really hard time doing that. We still are constantly having these workshops and seminars talking about poor black women and their poor black bodies and how we can't have babies. So what we need to do as doulas is to help our sisters know the good news, that there's nothing wrong with our bodies. Our bodies were perfectly fine, actually, especially since we are the descendants of the folks who couldn't be killed off.
That's right.
And so that being the case, what are the tools that we need to birth our babies in love and light and power? And along those lines, I came up with 10, but there are many more. And I'm going to put it out in such a way that we can begin to share this information and spread out the word in the community about what's true about us. So my little list of 10 begins with a fundamental thing, which is maintaining solid health for your lifetime to secure your reproductive possibilities. When you're 16 years old, not all of us are clear whether we want to be parents or not. Some of us will, most of us will, a lot of us won't. But no matter what, you want to have the healthiest and longest life you can, right? So it's a matter of instilling within ourselves, reinstilling in our culture, the understanding that we need to have our healthy bodies and we need to be able to have access to whatever our bodies can bring us. That includes the right to choose to have a baby whenever we want to, when we decide that that's time for us to do. So, what is solid health? Meaning we're participating in exercise, we're getting good sleep, we're eating a balanced diet, we're not participating in any fad, foodie kind of diets, and we are grounding ourselves in holistic nutrition, holistic information about our bodies, the understanding that our bodies are meant to be healthy and want to be healthy if we give them the tools to be healthy. Pretty much the stuff our grandmas were saying to us, hello. The stuff that grandmas were saying to us, like, you are what you eat. I think that at least once a day. And when my grandma said it to me when I was 18, I rolled my eyes, right? But now we know she was right.
Yeah.
All those grannies were right. Our step number 2 on my list is to understand the effects of systematic racism on you and your family. It is very, very important for us to understand that we are, as American citizens, being raised in this soup that is not really on our side. It is not really seeing us as beautiful, vibrant beings, and is not really seeing us as productive and powerful. And so from a very, very young age, we have to remind ourselves, in case our families too have forgotten, we have to remind ourselves of our own preciousness and our own viability. Our immune system is very much affected by our state of mind about ourselves. As much as we can, and as much as in our community, and as much in how we deal with each other, we have to look at the fact that there's a weight on us that is not immediately visible to others. You know? And how do we lift that weight off of ourselves, and how do we lift each other up? That needs to be part of every step that we take on the planet as Black women and as Black people. You know, especially for our own people and especially for our children. You know, we have to look at certain child-rearing practices and how those child-rearing practices were handed down to us from slavery, from a master-slave mentality, as opposed to looking at our children as our beautiful, vibrant future. Okay? Our children are not going to be raised to be slaves picking cotton. We want our children to be free thinking and free speaking,
Yes.
and their souls to be free. And that means they might be a little more challenging to raise.
Yeah.
If you beat a child, it will quietly stay in the corner and learn to lie to you. But if you allow your child to be free, it's going to be challenging. There's going to be some work to be done.
True
And
that.
how do we get the tools to do that? How do we get the tools to let our children be free people? Number 3 is to explore traditional, in quotes, alternative health. It's about going back to what our grandma said, going back to healing that maybe is thousands of years old, healing that's not attached to medications and fear-based tactics and making money for pharmaceutical companies. There's a lot of good information out there, and to seek out trusted people who you can explore beyond just the medical model. There's a time and a place for the medical model, but I think when we use the medical model as our only example of health, we find ourselves very lacking.
Yeah.
Number 4 is to let go of exaggerated horror stories about pregnancy and birth. This is true for all women, but I think women of color, we need to really step up to this. If we are not going to say something positive about pregnancy and birth, maybe those are things that we need to be getting some help, maybe some therapy, maybe some spiritual healing around our bad experiences. Our sisters and our daughters are more scared of birth than ever in the history of women. That's true of all women. They're more terrified of the prospect of being mothers, more terrified of the prospect of birthing, because there is nobody out there telling them that it can be amazing and it can be a life-changing experience. It's designed to be, and not giving them the tools for how they can create that for themselves. So they are just out there kind of lost. And the only information that they're having is that, well, you go to the hospital and you get the epidural, and you might get a C-section, and oh well. Okay? So this is where we come in as doulas. We do come in, and unfortunately, often we come in at the last minute. I tend to meet most of my clients in their last trimester. And by then, the pregnancy is 2/3 of the way in, and they've already absorbed what they're going to absorb. It's very hard for them to change their mind, very hard to change doctors, very hard for them to change their plan. So I want to challenge the greater community to take this on as well. Doulas, we're doing our job. We're already on the front lines of it. But what we also want the community to do is to be steering our sisters to getting support earlier in their pregnancies, taking a look at the number 7 on my list is exploring what would it be to have a doula, what would it be to go to a midwife, and for those of us who have great stories about childbirth, even if it was difficult, but you still felt amazing and happy that you did it, share those stories too, because we cannot just have our traumatized sisters sharing their pain and there's no balance for the joy, you know? When we're telling our stories, we always want to be cognizant of the fact that there are younger ones listening. Boys and girls are listening, and they're forming their life stories based on the stories that we are telling in the moment. I always want to put a plug in for 5-finger eating because it's just so amazing and wonderful. 5-finger eating is a method of eating developed by a midwife by the name of Valerie L. Halta, and I teach it to all my doula students and I teach it to all my clients. And one of the number one things that you can do to have a healthy pregnancy, vibrant pregnancy, joyful childbirth, make a lot of breast milk, be able to deal with a new baby in your house, is to get enough nutrition on board. That is the number one thing that we can do. So 5-finger eating means that if you're a pregnant person, you're striving to consume at least 100 grams of protein every day. You're gonna have 3 meals a day. You're not gonna skip any meals. If you wanna have a little treat every once in a while, a little piece of cake or something, if you're eating like this, I'm gonna smile at you. But if you haven't eaten like this, and you're snacking and you're having a lot of carbohydrates, the thing that people are concerned about gaining too much weight in pregnancy, you're going to definitely do that, and you're going to make yourself vulnerable to things like gestational diabetes and preeclampsia and group B strep and all those things that make your pregnancy not much fun. Okay? So you're going to be consuming 100 grams of protein a day, but on every meal you're going to have on your plate a source of protein. I think they're getting more happy over there. You're going to have protein. You're going to have some food that gives you vitamin C, not vitamin C in a pill, but some food like citrus or red bell pepper. You're going to have leafy greens. You're going to have a whole grain. You're going to be drinking water, 8 to 10 glasses of water a day for a pregnant person. And you're going to do your best to eat as organically as possible. That is very challenging for folks on a tight income, but sometimes at the grocery outlet here in Oakland sells some organic foods. The farmer's market might take your EBT. Take a look at that. There are coupons sometimes that your social worker can give you that allow you to go to local farmers markets. There are ways to get organic foods into your diet, even on a diet that is not a big one. Eat as fresh as possible. If you can't afford organic, get fresh fruits and vegetables as part of your diet. The best quality meats you can if you're a meat eater. And if you can't afford that, if you're eating vegetables that are in a can, you're better off than eating no vegetables at all. So, as I said earlier, you want to consider the possibility of not birthing in a hospital. If you're a healthy mama, the statistics are really good for you to be able to do very well birthing at home or birthing in a birthing center. And some statistics even say you're better off at home or in a birthing center than a hospital if there's nothing medically indicating of that. So look around in your community. We're lucky here in the Bay Area. We have a lot of wonderful home birth midwives, and we have about 5 birth centers now. Again, if money is an issue, talk to the individual midwives. Individual midwives might be able to work out a payment plan with your family and be able to meet your needs there. We have our new birthing center in Marin that accepts Medi-Cal. So there are, yes, exactly. So we do have a lot more possibilities. If you want information about any of that, there's stuff on the flyer. You can contact me at www.oaklandbetterbirthfoundation.com. check us out there, and I can help direct you. It's not necessary that you just have to take a deep breath and say, because I have Medi-Cal, because I have these certain circumstances in my life, I won't be able to have a home birth or a birth center birth. I have helped people fundraise to make it happen. We can sit down and brainstorm, and if you want to have this happen, we will work and help you to be able to pull it together. I'd rather have the drummers. Where'd the drummers go? These motorcycles are annoying. So please consider home birth or birthing in an independent birthing center run by midwives. I say it like that because we have our big hospital out to base that calls himself a birthing center. No, it's a hospital. And so if you're wanting to have a birthing center, please find one of those. And please also take your childbirth education class. So everybody should take a childbirth education class, whether you're birthing at home or hospital. And I really recommend for people to take a birthing class from an independent childbirth educator. The childbirth educator in the hospital is kind of beholden to the person who's paying her wages. The independent childbirth educator is beholden to you. So to have information that is not unbiased, and so that you as a family can make clear decisions about what you want, what medications you want, have somebody who is more beholden to you than the corporate entity of the hospital. And so then you would definitely pick your independent childbirth educator. One of the challenges there, again, is financial. And so I'm going to point out that Oakland Better Birth Foundation offers childbirth education classes on a very deep sliding scale. It's free for people who need it to be free, and folks who can't afford to pay something will pay something. I also know that independent childbirth educators here in the Bay Area always have a space for a low-fee family, so ask. But the information is incredibly important. We prepare for so much in life. If we're taking a trip or buying a car or studying a subject in school, we do all this research, but for some reason when it's time for us to have a baby, we just kind of show up at prenatal appointments and let ourselves get taken down the McDonaldized what am I shooting for? It's like the conveyor belt. The mamas just kind of get taken through on the conveyor belt. They go to their meetings, they go to their postpartum, prenatal appointments. They get almost no information. They get hooked up to their epidurals, and they have the outcome that they have, hopefully a positive one. But if we're looking at what's happening nationally, there's a lot of unpleasant outcomes happening. So it's time for us to take power back in all areas of our lives, and especially in how we birth our babies. It's important for us to understand that how our babies are born is imprinted on them, and it's the starting chapter of their beautiful little lives. If we have a girl baby, if we have a natural birth, it increases her possibility of making that choice for herself. You know, if a little boy baby has a natural sweet birth, he's going to be more likely to be a little boy with an open, loving heart, and be a sweet and loving partner, and supportive to his partner when it's time for him to be a grown-up man and participate in the miracle of bringing life into the world. Our babies who are lovingly home birthed and breastfed for 2 years or more, the stats on them are beautiful. That they're going to be healthy people, they're going to have really strong immune systems, they're going to have high IQs, they're going to have less likely to be obese, less likely to have any kind of diabetes, gestational or otherwise. So why not do it? Okay, we know it's very scary. This culture makes it very scary having a baby, but I think it's much more frightening to have a sickly child. I think that's much more scary. So we want to help our clients to be big, brave people, wonderful, brave birthing people. And we want to arm them with the information of why would I want to go through something that's uncomfortable? Why would I want to go through this? Because it enlightens and brightens you, and enlightens and brightens your baby. A natural birth for the mama, breastfeeding one baby for 6 months reduces so many cancers. Breast cancer, ovarian cancer, cancer of the cervix, so many different kinds of cancers are reduced and potentially eliminated by us actually using our bodies for the purpose that it was designed. Right? So there's a method to this madness of birth. And we as birth workers want to encourage our clients, we want to give them support, we want to encourage our friends and family to the extent that they're open. And the last most important tip is to hire a doula. Please hire a doula. Again, the issue of money. Organizations like ours, Oakland Better Birth Foundation, offers through Shiphrah Circle Community Doula Program free and low-cost doula to any families who needs it. Again, they're all doulas who have sliding scales and will offer sliding scales to family. Again, ask. You're worth asking and you're worth getting. You know, I want to encourage birth workers to always have a sliding scale and to always be available for parents, for families who need them. Our work is life-saving work. We should never forget that. I've been a doula for 37 years. It's been my joy and my passion to do that. And I'm living proof that you can earn your income by doing this work. I'm a birth and postpartum doula. I'm a lactation educator. In every area of my work, I have a deep sliding scale, so that I know I have the presence of mind of knowing that the family is denied life-saving care because of their finances. And then the universe blesses me. I have families who pay my full fee. Some folks pay in the middle. Some folks get free. Right? So let's all think about that as birth workers as we're going forward doing our work to make that space, so that all mamas get served, all birthing people get served. Okay? So I want to just open it up, see if there's a couple of questions. Do you?
I just wanted to know a little bit more about the circle.
Shiphrah circles.
The circle? The
Shiphrah
doula circle?
What about it?
Shiphrah? Is it through the Oakland?
It's through the Oakland Better Birth Foundation. Yes, you were asking about Shiphrah Circle.
Shiphrah.
I have a little bit of a hearing problem, so.
And one of my
Yell
ears
at me.
is clogged up now, so I probably can't even hear
We're
myself.
both yelling at each other. It's okay. So yeah, Shiphrah Circle is a project of Oakland Better Birth Foundation. And if you're a doula, we meet twice a week on Monday mornings and Wednesday evenings. We have trainings for the community of birth workers. I offer free and low-cost trainings for doulas as well to kind of increase their knowledge base, because we're working with the community. We don't have time to be taking 5 different classes at $600 a piece to be able to serve our clients really well. So again, on a deep sliding scale, I'm offering trainings for doulas, and if you become part of Shiphrah Circle and you're working with us, all of the trainings are free. What I ask is that people give me a year of your life to help low-income families, and there's a whole series of certifications that you can get through that year of working with me. So we can talk more about that. But definitely, if you know folks who are thinking about having a doula but they're tripping about money, have them to give us a call and we can work about. We already were sitting right here looking at some of the lovely women who are willing to do birth support, and I would love to talk to you about providing postpartum support if you have a few hours.